Hello, grade 5. I hope we're all doing good. Today, we're going to explore a brand new chapter which is about the age of exploration. So, let's start with the lesson on exploration and technology. Learning objectives of this lesson: first, you'll be able to explain the reasons for European exploration, and second one, you'll be able to identify the technology that made ocean exploration possible. Basically, grade 5, this lesson describes some changes in Europe that led to the great age of exploration of the late 1400s and early 1500s. So let's find out more. Here are the vocabulary words of this lesson. Number one is technology or scientific knowledge and tools to make or do something. Or it is the use of knowledge to invent new devices. Number two is navigation, is the science of planning and following a route or finding the way from place to place is called navigation. Third word, we have expedition or a trip taken with the goal of exploring. An expedition, usually grade 5, means a long journey or voyage done for a specific purpose. For example, the Lewis and Clark expedition. Number four, empire, or a collection of lands ruled by the nation that won control of them. Throughout history, grade 5, countries have wanted to control lands beyond their borders, and that practice is called imperialism, and the lands that they control called an empire. 5, we have the word entrepreneur, means a person who sets up and runs a business. And number 6, we have the word cost or the effort made to achieve or gain something. All right, so please remember all these words. A rush of new ideas. In the 1400s, a new age of learning, science, and art began in Europe called the Renaissance. Historians call this time of new ideas the Renaissance, which means rebirth, and it began in Italy and then spread across Europe. Johannes Gutenberg helped spread these new ideas by developing the printing press in the 1450s. But in grade 5, before the printing press was invented, books were written and copied by hand. Few books were made and they were very expensive. The printing press made information more easily available, so people became better educated. All right, and one of the most popular books during the Renaissance was The Travels of Marco Polo, written almost 200 years later, or earlier, and it tells about his voyage to Cathay, as China was then called. Europeans were amazed to read about Chinese inventions such as gunpowder and the compass, and these European merchants were interested in the riches Marco Polo wrote about. They wanted to buy and then resell Asian goods such as silks and spices. Soon, traders from Europe began traveling the long, difficult land routes to Asia. And to reach Asia grade 5, they had to cross mountains and deserts. At that time, no Europeans had traveled to Asia by sea, so they had no maps that showed the world correctly. Sailors also lacked the technology or the scientific knowledge and tools needed for such a long trip. So sailors and scientists began working to solve these problems. The world awaits. In 1418, Prince Henry of Portugal opened a school of navigation. Actually, grade 5, he sponsored more than 50 expeditions along the west coast of Africa, and he hoped to find a water route to Asia. The aim of the school was to make better ships, maps, and tools for navigation. Okay, and sailors learned to sail new ships called caravels, and the map makers at Prince Henry's School read the journals of early explorers. So they read about bodies of water and land shapes, and using these details, they drew better maps. And Prince Henry grade 5, they hired scientists to improve two of their tools, the compass and the astrolabe. Sailors used the compass to help them find their longitude or distance east or west of the primary region, And they used the astrolabe to figure out the positions of the sun, moon, and the stars. So this tool helps sailors to try to find their latitude or distance north or south of the equator. So Portuguese ships Grey Pie began making expeditions in search of a sea route to Asia. And Prince Henry believed that the most direct sea route to Asia from Europe would be to sail south around Africa and then east across the Indian Ocean. Europeans as well knew about Asia because of Marco Polo's book and because of trade. Traders had long been using the Silk Road or an ancient land route between China and Italy. And at this time, grade 5, Europeans knew all the Asia or all of Asia as the Indies. Europeans as well traveled to Africa and they traded with merchants in North African cities. Alright, so we're going to end here grade 5. By the way, this is only the first part of this lesson and we still have a lot of things and people to discover. So, bye for now.